A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We warmly welcome you to another webinar organized by Lanka Consulting Group. And before we dive into the webinar, let us quickly look at what Lanka Consulting Group is and what are the services you can obtain from LCG. LCG is an online platform where you can find experts from different industries to match your consultants' needs, and we work with the intention to address issues of SMEs and MSMEs. And we have a wide selection of fields where you can get expertise from, ranging from business and finance, marketing and sales, HR, manufacturing and process industries, technology, taxation, and startup mentoring. So if your business is still in the growing stage or has been established and you need a consultant in one of these areas to sort an issue which you are facing at the most convenient way, because you can do all of these online in these turbulent times, you need not travel places to meet consultants. We will make sure that your meeting is set up online and it happens in a very streamlined manner. Let us quickly look at how it will happen. You have a business problem, you can come onto our website and search for an expert at LCG. Then you just need to book a session with a consultant. Then once the consultant accepts that he or she can go ahead by solving your problems, we will facilitate to obtain the online consultation. So if you have a problem in your business, just log on to www.lankaconsultinggroup.com, choose a consultant and go ahead with a consultation to solve it. So before further ado, let me introduce to you Mr. Migara Pereira, a corporate security specialist who is today with us this evening to give an insight on etiquette for open offices. Let me quickly give an introduction of Mr. Migara. Mr. Pereira is a corporate security specialist with over 3 decades of experience as a commissioned officer in the Sri Lankan Air Force and in a multinational company specializing in security reviews, security audits and investigations, crisis and business continuity management. He is also an administrative professional specializing in office refurbishment, management, facilities management, and corporate environment, healthy and safety. He's a corporate professional with over 23 years of experience and presently employed as the senior manager, real estate facilities and EHS at SmithKline Beecham Private Limited since October 2019. He was previously the senior manager security and administration at SmithKline since July 2013, and prior to that was the head of HR and administration at Anilana Hotels and Properties since October 2011. Without further ado, let us get into the presentation today and let's see what Mr. Migara has to share with us today. Over to you, Mr. Migara Pereira.
Hi everyone, welcome to this presentation on etiquette for open offices. We all have experienced a dramatic change in the office layout in the recent past. We've been accustomed to being like working in offices that are like very traditional cubicles, own separate rooms, large spaces for oneself, etc., etc. But times have changed, and now we see more often than not companies going into very open and relaxed working space arrangement, such as the photographs that are visible to you. So my presentation would not really touch on the pros and cons of going into open space workspace against the traditional office layouts, but more or less touch on the etiquette required when you have to suddenly get into an organization that has an open office plan from a very traditional plan work arrangement, and the pros, the nuances that you need to know, and the behavior to be exhibited, to be practiced in order to share that open space with the rest of the team without being a nuisance to the others. So why do companies go for open offices from the traditional work layout? Mainly, it saves a lot of operational expenditure in the reduced, given the reduced footprint that is required, and it has known to improve the communication between employees because they are all out in the open, working as one, and cross-functional teams interact much freely when they are working out in the open in an open office plan. Again, things very minor things like the janitorial services, the maintenance is quite low cost when you're in an open office plan. There are hardly any barriers in the open office plan. You can just get up, walk across to a colleague, have a little discussion, have a little chit chat, come back. It's a more free and flowing working arrangement that is provided by the open office plans. Very flexible. The creativity has gone into different levels in designing work open office plans. There are people gone into different providing different work setups, working arrangements to employees. You can work from a sofa, you can work from a beanbag, you can work from a touchdown area, you can work from a booth next to the pantry, etc., etc. Versus the good old days where you had to sit on your workstation and continue to work the entire duration of the day. So the content of this presentation will cover the required etiquette to be shown in basically dealing in managing booking conference meeting rooms, the management and behavior around the focused work areas provided in the offices, in shared as well as the open work areas, the shared services that will be common to many in the office, not just for a few. And also utilization of the storage spaces, which is very minimum in the current open work arrangements. How you entertain and interact with visitors. General behavior related to usage of your mobile communications, your other modes of communications within the office. And of course, the usage of the recreational areas, meaning the cafeteria, and other interactive areas that are provided in open office plans. Managing one's noise, looking after the property, and how you really introduce and embed the etiquette into your work teams. Okay. Now, generally, when you get into an open office plan, along with that comes the restriction on the confined spaces, which are sometimes necessary in your workday work arrangements. In order to probably have a confidential discussion, take a very confidential call, have certain meetings with people, which in the good old days could have been done in one's office, now has to be managed better. So for that purpose, in open offices, meeting spaces are provided specifically given with seating capacities at different numbers. Let's say in an office that has about 30 to 50 people, you could have maybe 2 or 3 meeting rooms at 12 head count, 8 head count, 6 head count, etc., etc. So that people, according to the numbers that are required to meet, can book a suitable room that provides accommodation or seating capacity in relation to the number invited for that meeting. So generally in companies, there is a system to, generally in companies that have open office plans, there is a system to book a meeting room or meeting space via via the digital means, the online system. When you send a meeting request via the email or the booking system, you have the option generally to select a meeting location as well. So it is our duty to minimize as much as possible the time used in booking these locations, because there are multiple people, multiple employees, team members looking to book these spaces. So we have to be, we have to use the time very wisely. And also, in case we have to cancel a meeting, we should go back and delete that booking in the system, so that somebody else who has a sudden need can go ahead and book that space for their own purposes. And also the work arrangement, the layout of the meeting rooms should be respected. When you have completed a meeting, it's the duty or the onus is on the meeting sponsor to ensure that when they leave the meeting room, it is left behind at the state that they found it in the on the very first occasion of a day's meeting, where it's very clean, very organized, so that the next party moving into a meeting room does not feel like feel bad about a disheveled working meeting room that they enter to commence a meeting. The universal rule that rules that govern the meeting room booking in my company at least is: one, reserved through the central booking system. Do not remove any equipment that are there in the meeting rooms. You have things like the remote controls, the LAN cables. There is a phone generally. Then there could be paper, stationery. You should not remove them from one meeting room and exchange to another meeting room, because it is there for a purpose. And then, of course, the furniture. You should not drag chairs out of a meeting room to another room and then you promptly forget to replace it to the original location. And then you come across in an open office plan areas which is reserved for very focused work or confidential calls. Generally, these are called as known as quiet rooms or quiet booths, which are generally can accommodate maybe one or two people, good for a one-on-one chat, very confidential in nature. Or maybe if you have a two-member meeting to connect online with some like team members far away, it's good to utilize for such purposes. Generally, these can also be booked by the online method, or else there could be a little poster or a little board outside, pasted outside, given with the times of the day clearly marked out. So you can use a marker and you reserve the quiet booths to very short time durations. It's not ideal if somebody is to book a quiet booth for an entire day. That is not the purpose quiet booths are given or provided for. Again, let's say I go ahead and early in the morning reserve a 2-hour slot in a quiet booth, and then during the day somehow that requirement is cancelled or it doesn't arise anymore, then it's my duty to erase it, allowing somebody else to occupy it in case it is required to be occupied. Moving on to open office areas, where in an open office plan, generally your printer, your shredder, your copier, scanner, these things are generally located in a very central location. Maybe if it's a large office, there could be 2 or 3 such areas where like people can simply give the print order from their workstation and go ahead and collect it and return to their workstations, or do the scanning, do shredding, or all that. So it's not restricted to a few people, a number of people. It's a common area. So when you are working in an open office environment, you you have greater access to your colleagues, so you need to respect uh, the colleagues who are doing focused work. You sometimes see people who are like glued to their computer screen. They are like really trying to concentrate. So these like indicators could be, somebody is using a headset or very diligently reading or typing. So you should make a conscious effort not to disturb them by engaging in idle chatter, or asking a question at that particular moment of time. And since the open office environment does not provide, it does provide lockable space, but when you're keeping the belongings of yours which are important to you but are also valuable, like the mobile phone, maybe maybe a tab. So it's up to you to look after the safety, not leaving it here, there, and everywhere. Take good care of your personal belongings, which are valuable. Most of the companies practice clean desk policy, where it's very like limited usage of paper, or hardly. There are some companies who have gone completely paperless. So generally, if it's a hot seating arrangement, meaning there are like only 80% or 70% of seating available in an office on a given day against the number of head count working from that office. So it could be the working spaces are shared. So people should be able to come and occupy a seat wherever they prefer to work from. So it's up to the user to maintain a clean desk policy, not leave anything on top of the table at the end of the day and when they switch off from work. And also, when you are like in an open office environment, you need to be very mindful when you are taking a call, not to disturb the other people, because sometimes without your knowledge, when you are using headsets and engaged in an online meeting, your voice can be that much louder, which will be a disturbance to the others around you. So you have to be conscious that you lower your voice and do a very low key conversation, so that others are not disturbed. And the earlier I mentioned about the uh, common areas in the office where those printers, scanners, and whatnot are provided. Once you use it, you need to collect all the left behinds when you leave that. Maybe you done a incorrect print, and you have to correct it and get another copy. So you have to promptly remove whatever that is not required by you and dispose of it, maybe via the shredder or via the dustbins. Not just leave it there so that it's in a disheveled condition when somebody else comes in to get their work done. And also throughout all open offices, there will be storage spaces provided, maybe broken down into departments, or maybe individually. So these are basically meant for the documents that needs to be maintained in office, that those are required for certain audits, certain invoices, certain important documents of a company, like the registration, company registration, articles of association, etc., etc. So for these purposes, there will be cupboards issued, cupboards located in and around the office. It could be, very miniature cupboards, long cupboards, built against the walls, or even personal pedestals. Now, when a personal pedestal is provided, uh, where even in an open office, these become more of individual nature, because the lockable space which can be locked up, the keys will be with a certain individual. So generally, such things are not shared. Uh, what you need to understand is, although it's your own space, own lockable space, it is kept in an open environment. So it does not serve the others well if you keep your dirty clothes or gym wear or shoes, or used but smelly kind of a personal article inside a personal pedestal, which could be, huge hindrance to others' comfort when they come to work the following day. Although also you need to be respectful of the others' taste of different smells, uh, because it's an open office environment. If you are using a very very strong perfume, even it could be offensive to somebody else. Then next, we concentrate on managing the visitors that come to office, and how you manage it in an open office environment. Visitors could be both internal and external. If you have several other companies in an umbrella, you could have internal visitors of a sister or brother company coming and visiting you in the office, maybe to work on a project together, maybe to have a little meeting, or maybe to meet you for a different official matter. So in such occasions, you need to encourage them to blend with the setting and sit with the local teams. Uh, they also should have a fair idea about working in a smart office environment such as yours. They should be discouraged from booking the limited work uh, meeting areas for the duration of their stay, unless it's a meeting that is dragging on for that particular time of the day. And if they are not really uh, oriented towards working in an open office environment, it's the duty of the inviter, the person who's inviting them to office, to give a little orientation to your visitors. The external visitors are to be met at the reception, because you can't drag them straight away into the office space when all the others are working. It might be a distraction to the others. So it's always encouraged to meet them at the reception, and get them to wear a visitor pass throughout their stay in the office, so that they are clearly identifiable as a visitor. Uh, Especially if you're having a meeting with external visitors, you need to book a room in advance and get them straight away into the meeting room, do the meeting, and escort them out of the office and out of the facility altogether. So during our general work day, there are several occasions when you need to take conference calls or get involved in live meetings. These can happen in different areas. Like if you are a very passive participant in a live meeting, you can still do it from your workplace. with the aid of a headset. You need to mute yourself so that the others in the call are not distracted or disturbed by the background noise of the office. And if it's going to be a discussion where you are an active participant, it's always advisable to book a focus room like a quiet booth, or if there are few participants from your team joining in, book a meeting room altogether. So the essence of this particular little segment of discussion is you should identify the appropriate space within the open office plan when you're taking part in such a conference call or a live meeting, and book it in advance so that you will not be stressed out at the last minute, or during mid meeting that you get a nod from or call from somebody else that you are distracting them, you are disturbing them, so you need to quickly vacate the location and get into a different different meeting room environment. Now everybody has to use a phone in the modern day, and it has become an integral part of our lives. But when you're working in an open office environment, you need to be mindful of the noise created and the disruption to the others. If you get a call, you need to ensure that you answer it promptly without letting it ring on and on and on, disturbing the others. If you are away from your desk for an extended period, and you still have a landline connected to your work area, you need to have the call forwarding facility to forward it away from your location to maybe a person who would be in office throughout the period of your absence. And if you have the speakerphone facility, it's not ideal if you use it in an open office environment, because the discussion can be clearly heard across your table to the and others can even eavesdrop or hear what's being discussed. And also the discussion could be a sort of disturbance or distraction to the other people working on their own respective work. Especially the mobile phone users, when you are in the office, you need to set your ringer to a very decent noise level. It's not, it shouldn't be something that alarms the people around you whenever you receive a call. There is a bad habit about some people of taking their calls and having sort of a walk up and down hallways, talking at the top of their lungs. So that's a direct no-no in an open office environment. Wherever you go, you need to take your mobile phone with you. Otherwise, you will all of a sudden you will have to run from a certain place to pick it up because of the disturbance or noise it's generating. Cafeteria in an open office environment, it's an ideal place to chill, have a little cup of coffee, cup of tea with your work colleagues, have your meal in out of your work area, and mingle with the rest of the team members. And also, open office environment provides meal areas which are limited in space. The seats are limited, so you should not hog the lunch area for unreasonable times in having your meal and having a lengthy discussion, because that might be preventing somebody else from coming and enjoying their lunch or breakfast or whatever the meal. And once you have your meal, you have to clean up after yourself. That goes without saying. If you are using the microwave, it's always better to cover your food and minimize the order because it can be offensive to somebody else who's having their own meal. And if you are using the refrigerator to store away your own food, you have to be mindful of the space that you occupy and the time and the duration you occupy. You keep the food or whatever inside the fridge because the others may also need to use that space. Whatever the leftover food that you have, you should not at any cost drop it in the dustbin that is next to your workstation. It should always be disposed in the cafeteria garbage bin, because we have had the experiences where things have been left over like overnight, and the mess that it has created the following day. And also there is a bad behavior among some other colleagues of dumping the remnants of the food into the sink, which again, especially when if you are working in a high riser with the plumbing systems not having the adequate space or the length or width that is required for proper like discharge of the waste, can easily get clogged and create a very unpleasant working environment to the rest of the people for some duration of time. As I told you earlier, eating time is a very enjoyable time of the day. It has to be short but enjoyable. So because of that, most of the open office plans have provided beautiful cafeterias for their employees to just relax and enjoy that little time of day that they interact with their work colleagues and have their own meals. Uh, so why that is provided is simply to discourage people from having their food at their workstation, because the order and the noise some make while having meals could be offensive and disturbing to the others who could be working in close proximity. This one I already addressed. Put your food waste in the pantry instead of your work area. Uh, it's again advisable to use a tumbler of if you are using hot drinks or water with a lid to avoid spillage and then the disfigurement of the carpets and spilling water on top of your computer, creating an unnecessary hassle for you. And especially if you are working in an open office environment, you should be mindful of your health and its impact to the others, especially during these times where we are grappling with the COVID-19 virus. This has become very, very applicable in day-to-day working environments. Some of the employees could be having allergies for certain scents, such as perfumes, which I have touched earlier. So you have to be mindful that if you are using very strong perfume, to tone it down in consideration of the others. Also, some could be having allergies to food aromas. So that also has to be considered when you are storing away food or like consuming meals even in the cafeteria. If you have the symptoms of a cold or virus, it is essential that it goes without saying that, especially in the nowadays context, to wear a mask to prevent that particular allergy or virus from transmitting from you to the others. And also, if you are a smoker, uh, most of the offices do not encourage smoking inside office at all. There are designated areas for smokers especially in high rises such as the World Trade Center. There are designated areas. You are advised to you utilize them if you are a smoker, uh, in consideration of the others' health. So most of the time, where we see people unable to adapt to working in an open office environment is in the aspect of managing the noise that they create. So being aware of the kind of person that who you are, whether you are a loud person or whether you speak too softly for somebody else to hear, it's essential. You need to make that assessment of your level of sound emission. Uh, Generally, in an open office, people can get together at a certain workstation and start discussing on a certain project or some job, which could be distracting to the others. So if such a things develops, it's always better to take it into a meeting room or a restricted or confined quiet booth kind of area. If you have group activities like the celebration of a birthday or an achievement, it should always be held in a confined area such as the canteen or the pantry, away from the others without disturbing them. And if you are using headphones, if you like to listen to music, let's say whilst working, it's a definite requirement to use the headphone. Or else also, if you are engaged in a conference call, you need to use the headphones not to disturb the others. When you're having conversations uh, with a colleague, it shouldn't, right, if he's a fair distance away, you shouldn't be speaking to him from your desk. It's always better to walk across to him, have a gentle discussion. If it's a lengthy discussion, again, take it to a quiet booth or a meeting space. We shouldn't be having discussions in midway, blocking in the hallways or the aisles that are there for people to commute. You can always have it in a confined area, in a meeting room or a quiet booth. Sometimes there are pranksters within our teams, and they like to engage in a bit of fun activity, which could be offensive to others, especially if you are working in an open office environment. You should be very conscious not to intrude into the personal space of the others. So very sensitive topic on that. And if you find some discussion is disturbing you, and you can always go walk up to them and kindly, in a very diplomatic manner, request them to move their discussion to a quiet booth, explaining that it's disturbing you doing your particular work that you're engaged in. Your personal belongings, that this one I discussed earlier, very essential to be mindful of them, because it's a open working environment. Uh, Valuable items to be taken care of. Uh, there is a habit amongst people in keeping their bags just next to them, blocking the aisles or blocking the walkways, which shouldn't be the case. There are generally lockers provided in a open work environment to keep their private belongings. So keep it there and lock it away. Okay. Moving from a traditional working environment to an open office environment, it's a difficult task. It needs some kind of change management that should be driven in a consistent manner. So how do you embed the required etiquette into the team? Uh, so there can't be people appointed to embed behavior or enforce behavior. It's everybody's responsibility. So the leadership teams, the senior managers, the managers can drive it into their teams. And Therefore, everyone becomes the police. If you see somebody, engaging in a bit of unnecessary or unwanted activity, which is not really in keeping with the etiquette of a open office environment, it's always up to them to approach that particular person or the team and quietly explain to them why they should not do such behaviors in an open office environment. Thereby, everyone becomes the police. Leadership uh, teams are required to exercise this kind of behavior themselves and set standards so that the others can follow them. And the leadership teams are to be held accountable if they do not do the right thing. They are expecting others to follow will not be of any value. So how do you embed this culture into the new ways of working to the team and grow? You can have regular meetings during the change management area, the change management duration, and have these things, discuss these things. What is expected of each and every person in moving into an open office area or working in an open office area, and discuss them openly, frankly, and agree on yardsticks or benchmarks. There could be a suggestion board where people can voice up their concerns or then express recommendations or their thinking, their suggestions, so that others can read up and maybe take it up on a more official manner at the next meeting. Then you can the facilities team can lead this, do a little temperature check, see whether things are working to plan, whether there are things to be improved, whether areas to be addressed, and then again bring it up at the periodical meetings. So working in an open office environment, it's a lot of fun. I have observed and uh, I have enjoyed that for the last 8 years of my life in the corporate entity that I'm working in. It's the trend of the future. Even that the COVID-19 virus has taught us the value of limiting the workspace and the resultant benefits that can be obtained by doing so. So the obvious option in times to come for most of the officers, the business enterprises, would be to work in the move into from traditional work arrangements to more flexible work arrangements, like working from home, working from a hot seat arrangement, where like limited a certain percentage of people are only provided working space in an office on a given day, and encouraging people to take other options, like one working from home, working remotely, or working at different times, not really logging down certain uh, office space that can be and blocking your expenditure on unnecessary footprint in offices, and thereby depriving the opportunity of investing them in other areas such as research and development, marketing, investigations, etc. So it will be required for us to adapt to these new working environment, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of flexible working arrangements gives a lot of people more avenues and opportunities to be more creative. But to enjoy it to the maximum, you need to get on with the program and get these new ways of working embedded into your system. Then once you do that, it becomes all more enjoyable working in an open office environment. Hope this presentation was useful to you in making that transition. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Migara Pereira, for those insightful tips on today's presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to get a consultation with Mr. Migara on any of the expertise which he had shared today, you can simply call us at 077 5033 or even email us at info@lankaconsultinggroup.com, and we will facilitate you to book a consultation. With that, we come to the end of today's webinar session. We hope to meet you very soon with another webinar. Thank you very much. Have a safe day. Goodbye.